Shabbat Shalom. How wonderful to be together. The week of wacky weather continues. We'll have a nice toasty tomorrow and then a freezing cold the next day. So let's just enjoy the nice temperate Friedman Levitt here, where we always have the right amount of air conditioning and heating, and to enjoy bringing in our Shabbat. We will begin with Hinei Ma Tov.
טוב ומנעים שבטוחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבטוחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב ומנעים שבטוחים גם יחד הנה מה טוב
We rise now for the lighting of the Shabbat candles, page 4.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lechad likner shel Shabbat.
You may be seated. And now we'll continue with Shalom Aleichem on page 5.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And now that we've welcomed the Sabbath angels, we'll sing a song to God, Shiru Ladonai, page 13.
שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו במקדשו, שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני בכל שמו, מסרו מיום ליום ישועתו. Easy words.
Yismechu Hashamayim and Romamu, two parts of two psalms connected together, page 14, followed by page 20.
ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ישמחו השמיים, ותגל הארץ. Yiram hayam, yiram hayam, yiram hayam, umelo. Yiram hayam, yiram hayam, yiram hayam, umelo. Yismachu hashamayim, yismachu hashamayim, yismachu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Bottom of page 20. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'yishtachavu lehar kodsho.
Now that we've got warmed up already, we're going to welcome the Sabbath bride into our congregation with Lecha Dodi, page 23. Well, now let me see. We welcome the Sabbath angels with Shalom Aleichem, and we welcome the Sabbath with Chad Odi, and why don't we welcome each other as long as we're standing? Say hello to everybody next to you.
Good Shabbat. Good Shabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. How are you? Good. Good. Great. Okay. It's great to have a friendly congregation. So we're going to ask those who are mourning and those observing a yard site to remain standing for the mourner's Kaddish, page 30. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah Yalma Divrach Hirutev Yamlich Malchutei V'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala uvizman kari v'yimru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mevarach Le'alam Le'almei Almaya Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramam V'yitnaseh V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shemei Dekudsha Barichu Le'ila Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Da'amiran B'alma V'yimru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. Osei Shalom B'imramav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'yimru Amen. We now ask everyone to rise for Baruch, page 39. You may be seated. We'll continue now with a prayer that reminds us of God's love for us. He loves us so much, He gave us the commandments, including the 10 Commandments, which we're going to be reading tomorrow morning. Ahavat Olam, page 40. page 41.
Israel, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol meodecha vechayu Hadvarim ha'elech asher anohi metzavecha hayom levavecha veshinantam levanecha vedibarta bam beshivtecha beveitecha uvlechtecha vadere Uvshochbecha, uvkumecha, ukshartam leot al yadecha, vechayu letotafot beinenecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha.
We continue silently now in Hebrew or English to the bottom of page 42.
Adonai Elohechem emet.
Who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you, adorned in holiness, revered in praise, working wonders? Michamocha, page 44. Less joyous, but perhaps a little more subdued, is the joy on page 45 where we sing, "Allow us, Adonai our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign." Hashkivenu, page 45.
Yerushalayim.
The reason we are all here tonight, the people of Israel shall observe Shabbat. Top of page 46, Vishamru.
Shabbos la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת כשבס לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
The only thing I love more than the good Shabbos is the look on people's faces who've never been here, or like all our rabbinic candidates, and they're like, I love it. I love it for many reasons. We rise, middle of page 46 for the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דברה קירותי וימיך מלכותי וחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשו בריחו לילה מן כל בחטא ושירתו תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ואמרו Amen.
We remain standing as we turn to page 47 for the Amida for Friday night, the silent Amida. When you have finished saying the words in your heart, the words in the book, both preferably, we do remind you to stay standing. That's page 47 through 52.
page 51.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'Shalom Rav Al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Tasim Leolam Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Shalom Rav Al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Tasim Leolam Ki Aton Melech Adon Lechol HaShalom Ki Aton Melech Adon Lechol Shalom, Shalom Rav Al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam V'Shalom Rav Al Kol Yoshvei Tevel Tasim Leolam V'tol Beinecha Levarech Et Amcha Yisrael B'chol עת ובכל לשון בשלומך
And as we said our prayers for peace, we'll always also take the time to pray for those in need of healing. So we turn to the inside back cover of our Siddur for the Misha Berach for the Cholim, a prayer for those in need of healing. Of course, while we pray for those who are in need of healing, we also hold space in our hearts for the hostages who are still being held in Gaza, for the continued health and rehabilitation for those who have gone into freedom. We're thinking of those who will be going into freedom in a few hours from now. And of course, the soldiers who have served so bravely, who are currently going through their own healing, and frankly, all the people in Israel who are going through a lot of trauma during this time. We'll continue with the Achenu, the prayer for the release of hostages. You can find that in your program that you were handed when you came in. You may be seated. We turn to page 54 for the Kaddish Shalom.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ועלמדי ורקירותי, והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון ומחון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו, אמן, יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם ולעולמי עולמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי דקודשה. בריחו לאלה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן מעלמה, ואמרו, אמן. תתקבץ לא תהון ובאתן לכל ישראל, קודם אבון בשמיה, ואמרו, אמן. יהי שלום הרבה מן שמיה, וחיים עלינו וכל ישראל, ואמרו, אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו וכל ישראל, ואמרו.
We are delighted this Shabbat to welcome to Congregation Beth Yeshurun Dr. Wendy Mogel as a special guest speaker for us tonight and tomorrow. Wendy Mogel is a New York Times bestselling author, a podcast host, and an international public speaker. Her first book was The Blessing of a Skinned Knee, which I bought almost as soon as it came out. I have a signed copy, just to say in. And it was a very good book about parenting, how to raise children. Her revelatory second release was The Blessing of a B-, which addresses the challenges of parenting adolescents in a culture of anxiety and competition. Not that we have that today. Dr. Mogel's third book, Voice Lessons, offers guidance for communicating with children across the expanse of childhood and adolescence, and also explains the most effective ways to talk about your child to teachers, coaches, nannies, caretakers, grandparents, partners, and even your ex. She hosts the popular podcast Nurture versus Nurture with Dr. Wendy Mogel, where she brings her 40 years of experience as a clinical psychologist working with families to those, all the rest of us out in the world. And since you don't want to hear me, you really want to hear her. Without further ado, here is Dr. Wendy Mogel.
Shabbat Shalom. And my question to Rabbi Fort, let's see if I get this off, is when you said that the rabbinic students, is that who's here? Yeah, when they're here for the first time, their reaction to being in this sanctuary and in their service, to what were you referring?
We have a lovely vocal corner as a very raucous, good Shabbos. The Ruach section. I love it.
It's stunning. So it took me, I live north of San Francisco, 83 miles north of San Francisco in wine country. I lived in Los Angeles for 42 years, apparently got out in time. And so it's far, and it was a long drive to the airport, and it was pouring. It was one of the worst rainstorms I've ever been in my life. But I got to talk to my driver, and this is what he said. He said, when his now adult son was 4, so this is in, he lives in Santa Rosa, California, in Sonoma County. He's from Laredo. And I told him I was going to Texas. I have been to Texas to speak more than any state other than California. I believe I've been here 20 times. I love coming here. And this, I mean, I almost felt like I was on psychedelics, just sitting there and listening to this service, because we don't, in the lovely place I live now, it's not quite as robust Jewish community and as fervent, with an incredible band. And it nearly made me weep. And this man said to me, he was from Laredo, and when his now adult son was 4 years old, the state would provide funds to stock all the creeks and ponds in the city with fingerling tiny, tiny little fish. And the parents would take the tiny, tiny little children to go fishing. And the children would have a stick with a string and a minuscule hook. And on that hook, they would put 1 kernel of corn, 1 salmon egg, or a tiny little bit of ivory soap. And the soap left some kind of trail that would attract the fish. So all the children would catch fish. And he said, this is a good way to start out with your kids. And it reminded me of something that happened when I was here, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I was speaking at a luncheon that preceded my talk at a fundraiser for the Houston Children's Museum. And I found myself seated between two unusually tall, handsome men. And I thought, ooh, college football players, all grown up. So interesting for them to be here at this luncheon. And I learned that they were the husbands of the volunteers who raised money for the Children's Museum. And I asked them about their kids. And one of the men said to me that in that past weekend, he had gone dove hunting with his kids. And he said, you take the little ones, the 6-year-olds, dove hunting because they can play with the dogs. The labs that fetch, they can play with the dogs, the labs that fetch the doves. And when you go dove hunting, the little children don't have to get up very early and be quiet. When they're older, you take them deer hunting. He said, my daddy took me, and I take my kids. And then the man on my left said, when you take your kids hunting, you teach them how to use equipment safely. Over here, we've got a bumper sticker that says, hunt with your kids now, and you won't have to hunt for them later. And I am telling you this strange story because it's not about guns. It is about spending time with children in nature, having the right tools, being prepared, teaching them a lexicon of words that they wouldn't learn otherwise. And this particular story, both of them from my driver and from these Houston dads, was about parents, fathers, being with their children in nature and learning a skill. The Exodus from Egypt, from Pharaoh's Egypt, was, as we know, not an easy one in any way. There was no time for the bread to rise. And we all commemorate Moses' courageous leadership every year at Passover Seders by remembering the story. God split the Red Sea. Properly, it's called the Reed Sea, apparently. Let us pass through. The sea closed back up. What is not very often talked about is what happened next. Safe on the shore, Moses' sister Miriam took out her timbrels, an instrument similar to a drum on a frame or a tambourine, and led all the women in celebration through song and dance. Thinking that music would be essential for survival on a perilous journey to the Promised Land, Miriam packed the timbrels in her go bag. And the people sang and danced on the seashore. So my driver is telling me all about fishing with his son when his son was very little, and I'm saying nothing personal about myself at all. And he's talking about going to church. He doesn't go very often. He said, actually, my brother did a genealogy study of us recently. He's from Mexico, this driver. And he said, it turns out we're Jews. And I said, oh, really? He said, yeah, they're called conversos. We're called conversos. And we had to, during the Spanish Inquisition, we kind of had to keep it on the down low, but we have certain practices that we do, and he named things that I wish I had asked him more closely. He named some kind of flatbread. Anybody know about what that flatbread, that the Sephardic Jews who were conversos did something? And he said, and we do, and we, on Friday night, it's a special time for us. And I thought, this is why I am coming here. This is why I have devoted myself to this work. So it takes me 12 hours to get here because my flight was delayed 6 times. The plane that was supposed to pick us up was in Seattle and stuck on an icy runway. So my flight just kept getting delayed and kept getting delayed. I arrived here last night at midnight, thinking before I finally got on the flight and I asked a flight attendant if there would be food on the flight, because I'm flying first class, I expect a meal. And she said, absolutely, showed me the whole menu. And then we get on the plane, And the pilot says the entire trip is going to be filled with turbulence, so we need all the flight attendants to stay in their jump seats the whole time. And then it wasn't so turbulent, and a flight attendant came and took my order, and I was very happy that I was going to be able to have a Bloody Mary at that point, which I usually am not, but boy, was I happy. And then he came back, and he said, the app that takes the orders it's just broken down, so we can't process those orders. And I thought, this is part of what we go through all the time. Giant weather and frustrations with technology. And the combination of those two things makes us forget to be enchanted by children. And now I'm going to do something that may embarrass the people I'm going to do it about. Oh, are they gone? No, there they are. Those two boys. They were so cool, the way they were doing that whole thing. And I thought, this is so much better than TikTok. Like, I get to watch you guys doing this. Good friends, I am sure, for a long time. And here they are at the Friday night service, and they're doing all the moves. It was very beautiful. Thank you so much. I was thinking, I'm really glad to be here. And then so we get the food. That was good. And we get off the plane. Now it's midnight instead of 6 p.m. And I have another driver. And this driver is one of 7. He's from Staten Island, and he looked and sounded just like Adam Sandler. And he said nobody had ever said that to him before except his mother. And he couldn't wait to tell his mother. He did. He was just darling. And he had a very soft way of speaking. And he told me about the Pentecostal church that he goes to where they speak in tongues. And I said, oh, could you do it for me? And he spoke in tongues. Like, really casually. Just, you've seen it. Like on film or video. I don't know if anybody here has seen it in person. And I asked him if the women did it more than the men, because I usually picture the women doing it. They're sort of taken over by the Holy Spirit and rolling around on the ground. He said, everybody does it. Everybody does it at every service. And so he said this stuff to me in a language that is not a language that we know anything about other than speaking in tongues. And I asked him what it meant. And he said, and this was so natural, not self-conscious. He said, I'm talking about how much I love God and how God watches over me and takes care of me. And when I'm having a really hard time, God is telling me that I am up to the challenge and I will grow from these challenges. This is my driver taking me from the airport to the hotel. There is holiness everywhere. But the spirit guides of holiness are children. They are the ones who will guide us if we are not too terribly attached to the news, to Netflix, or to our phones. And the reason I mention Netflix, and this was for tomorrow, so I don't even know if it's here. It's probably not. So Netflix has a whole, they make a movie a week, and they have a concept called casual viewing or second screen viewing. And the writers of the scripts are given notes by the producers that tells them to make sure that people who aren't paying very close attention will know what the story is. So the way that people talk in these made-for Netflix movies is not like anybody ever really talks, because it's rehearsing the plot and reminding people of what already happened. Netflix, the news, the job of the news is to scare the pants off you. They are desperate for eyeballs. They are desperate for your attention. And if you consume too much of that, I was going to call it ultra-processed food, but it's sort of unprocessed, raw junk. If you consume too much of it, you are going to miss the majesty of youth. you are going to miss the look on the face of a 4-year-old boy when he has caught a fingerling for the first time with a tiny little bit of ivory soap with his dad. So I thank you very much for talking with me tonight. After dinner, we're going to have a question and answer time, and I'm so happy to answer questions. Tomorrow morning, I am going to talk about the art and science of humor for healthier aging and the meaning of music to very young children and to very old people, and the science behind the power of music to affect the human mind, the human heart, and the human body. I thank you very much for the opportunity to be in this magnificent place, and Shabbat Shalom.
Well, thank you very much, Yasher Koach, to Dr. Mogel for taking us on a journey and touching on some really important truths. And I know we're all excited to learn from you tomorrow and later tonight if you are sticking around with us for that. So thank you so much again.
And sticking around, it probably had to be pre-planned, but I love to answer questions. So don't be shy.
You heard her. We turn back in our Siddur to page 56, and we rise as the ark is opened for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, כך כתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום בהשבבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ככתוב בתורתך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
You may be seated. Here at Beth Yesharon, we think of those who have lost a loved one in the recent weeks, particularly the families of David M. Goldman, Zahava Pollock Hainosh, Irvlov, and Charlotte Levy. Of course, if you are currently in mourning or if you are observing a yard site, I do invite you to turn to page 58 and to join me for the Kaddish Tome, the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal v'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach yorotei v'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala u'bizman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam almei almaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dekudesha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiram be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imrumav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. You may be seated. We have one anniversary that I've been told about. And they're all special. We love all of you. But this is one of my coworkers. So celebrating 38 years of marriage, Sarah Ellen and Hugh Kaiser. You can tell she works with us. This past year, your son Matthew married Skylar Benjamin in Cleveland, Ohio, and he also had a very relaxing vacation to Colorado in the summer and look forward to future trips. So we wish you many wonderful simchas in the future, lots of grandbabies, lots of good trips, and only health and happiness. Happy 38 years of marriage. We have a few announcements. Of course, Dr. Mogel was wonderful tonight, and if you are registered to join us for dinner, we will be in Zabowski A after services. You can also join us tomorrow morning. She will be speaking around 11:30 for our Kaddish after services. For her talk, we're at one end of the spectrum of life tonight, and tomorrow she will be talking about Laughing Matters, the art and science of humor for healthier aging. So she gets you covered the whole lifespan, because she's a professional. So again, that's tomorrow, 11:30, and you're all welcome to join us for that. This Wednesday is the Yes program, and it's bingo. So it's a popular one, and we're very excited. We know you are too. We have plenty of spots open, so definitely grab a friend and join us for lunch and bingo on Wednesday. You can register on our website calendar. Next weekend, we welcome our third and final. We promise, only 3. This is exhausting. I remember being the student doing it, and it was tiring. But being the congregation, that's a lot. So this upcoming weekend, not now. Next weekend, we have our third and final candidate in our assistant rabbi search, the new me. You could never replace me. And I'm an associate technically right now, but I'm moving into his office. So we need someone to take my office. And so we are welcoming David Mendelson. He's actually already a rabbi. He's not a rabbinic student, not a soon-to-be rabbi. He's already a rabbi, Rabbi David Mendelson. He will join us next weekend at Shabbat Renewal, on Shabbat morning in the chapel and the museum, and then at Kaddish lunch, and various times on Sunday we'll put him through his paces, like we put all of our candidates through their paces. And of course, we will send out our survey again on Sunday and encourage everyone to please share your thoughts, because what we think doesn't really matter, but it's really what you guys think matters. So, speaking of voting, we encourage everyone to vote for the Merkaz Party in the upcoming World Zionist Congress elections. That's the conservative movement party. Voting ensures that funding goes to organizations important to the conservative/Masorti movement, as we're known overseas. Postcards with registration links are outside on the welcome table. It's really important you vote, because the more votes that go will actually increase the amount of funding we get in the state of Israel, and we don't get government funding there. So it's very, very important that you vote. Please vote. And of course, speaking of amazing rabbis, our spring fundraiser is coming up Thursday, March 27th. Tickets and sponsorships are on sale for our spring fundraiser honoring Rabbi Morgan and his 27 years of incredible service. You can go to our website to find out more about joining us that evening and adding your tribute to our tribute book for Rabbi Morgan and all the amazing things that he has done. Tomorrow, the fun does not stop, because we have a variety of B'nai Mitzvah. In the morning in the chapel, we're celebrating the B'nai Mitzvah of the Sanchez boys, Daniel and Gabriel. And in the afternoon, we have a mincha for Owen Levy for his bar mitzvah. He did so good today. Wonderful job on the Shema. So I'll wish you an early Mazal Tov, and definitely going to be well-earned, to Owen, to his parents, Melanie and Ilan, your siblings, everyone here who's going to join you. You're going to do such a good job, and I'm so excited to join you tomorrow afternoon for your Mincha Bar Mitzvah. And can we sing Happy Birthday? Cantor, let's sing. I heard a rumor from someone's mom that their birthday is coming up. Don't play the piano. It's your birthday. It is our music director, Julie Sachs' birthday on Sunday. And we're not going to let her play piano because it's her birthday, which means y'all got to sing real loud.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, but don't do help. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julie. Happy birthday to you. We love you.
I think we're ready to wrap it up. If we have any children who are here who want to come on up, got to help us out. I don't know the words. I've only been doing this for 8 years. We are on-air kids, bar mitzvah age, bat mitzvah age, and lower, younger. We'll take a moment to bless them. If you're here with your daughter, if you put a hand on her head over our girls who say, may God bless you. Make it like Sarah, Becca, Rachel, and Leah. Over our boys, no matter how old your boy is, if he's here, you can put a hand on his head over our boys who say, may God bless you and make you like Ephraim and Menashe. And over all of our children, all of our families, we will say, may God grant you the most precious of blessings, that of shalom, peace, and let us all say, Amen. Please rise for the Kaddish and the Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'masei v'reishit ki hu yom techilon l'mikra'e kodesh zechel l'tziat Mitzrayim ki vonu levachata ve'otanu kidosha mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha ve'achava uvratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabbat.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz.
Good Shabbat.
Shabbat shalom.